1, 2, 3. We were wrong.
We were wrong. I'm really upset about it, guys. I was so excited that I was gonna be right, and then as soon as that scene started, I was like,
we're not. I think it could still be coming, but I think the important thing to note here, is no matter how much you watch this show,
you will never be able to completely...
You will never truly understand Jeff Davis ever.
No, ever, no.
He will always pull the rug out from underneath your feet. And you know what? That's good, because everyone was
Keep you on your toes.
Everyone was so bored of us getting things right. So you know what? Thanks, Jeff.
There you go.
Thanks for... I mean, I think that would have been a super interesting storyline, and you should definitely consider pursuing it in the future. But also, like, thanks for confirming that Tyler Hoechlin's gonna die.
Thanks for that.
Great. That's... super.
And by thanks, I mean no thanks.
Happy duper. Great.
Nope.
Awesome sauce.
Bye. We are still banshees in training. We are very much like Lydia. We have not honed our powers. We don't really know how to control them, so, you know.
Yeah,
we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
You know who I wish would train me? Peter Hale. We're so close. Oh my god.
Alright, listen,
It's going all the wrong places, and I know that he's such a terrible person, but I love Peter so much.
Listen.
And I get super emotional every time he's on screen, and I get super emotional every time Kate's on screen, and then the two of them were on screen together. And it was just too much.
I would just like to say, I adore Peter, but he needs to not with whatever he's doing. I do like Kate, but I mean, good for Kate for at least not killing Argent.
Okay.
You know, good for Kate.
That's gonna be
restrained herself.
That's its own whole rant.
Anyway, I would totally 100,000% ship Peter and Kate if that would not be the worst thing to happen to Beacon Hills in its entire history. If Peter and Kate team up, everyone is screwed. Everyone is beyond screwed. Like, that is literally the worst thing that could happen. The worst. The two biggest and baddest villains Teen Wolf has ever had. The two biggest and baddest villains that death could not even stop. Team up together. That is not good. And that is why I don't want that to happen.
I still ship it.
I know you do. Brittany likes...
so much! We were so close!
Brittany likes...
They didn't give it to me!
Brittany likes death and destruction.
So sad! So if you've watched any of these previous videos, you know that I have a deep passion for Kate Argent. And it's not just the fact that she is super awesome and super pretty and super badass and doesn't take any shit. Also, back in season 1,
remember,
she
we're
was
keeping this video short.
Still super funny and everything. And a lot of people just write Kate off as a psychopathic bitch. Which, you know, she is in some aspects.
That's a true statement.
But there is one thing that I have maintained through and through since beginning Teen Wolf. And that is that, whatever you may say about her, Kate loves her family. Okay, it's not just the power that is behind the Argent name. You know, Peter was all like, you want to get the family back together. Yeah. Which, incidentally, should have led to some sort of comment about Allison that didn't come.
Yeah, right?
That better come in the future, because I really want to know how Kate feels about Allison's death.
I want to know if she even knows.
But,
I mean, she's got to know.
But, you know, you got to see Kate back in season 1. You know, she lied poorly to try and save Allison's life, but she did it. She let her pride down so that she could apologize to Peter, even though they all knew that she didn't mean it, so that she could save Allison's life. And you know what? Today, she let her brother go. And so, you know what? If nothing else, if you hate Kate Argent, just give her that. I beg of you.
Yeah, you gotta respect the fact that she is loyal.
I have a question for you.
Me?
Yeah, for you.
For me.
Yeah, ready?
Uh-huh.
Is it physically possible for us to be any more in love with Jordan Parrish?
The answer, let me tell you, no, it's not.
It's not. It's not
really
physically
not.
possible.
It's not.
Then again, I also thought that last week, and then Parrish got really upset because he thought he was only worth $5.
$5? $5 million? I don't even make $40,000 a year. All of the applause for Jordan Parrish.
I can't wait to find out what you are.
I know!
He doesn't even know yet.
He doesn't even know! No one knows!
Just like, wow, that's terrifying.
$5? I'm only worth $5?
Oh, and then the blackmailing to get them in. I just...
And then Stiles! I like you.
That moment
We
in which
do too!
Stiles is the entire
Everyone.
fandom. And go.
It literally, like, it wasn't even anything romantic, but I love them so much! I love their... I'm so sorry. And I just love their interactions, and Stiles was comforting her, and it was totally not romantic, but I still loved it anyway, because they're so cute! And I just love the way Stiles handles her. I don't know how to make that sound better. You know, he hasn't really been there for Lydia in the past few episodes, and like, I mean, rightly so, like, there's a ton of shit going on, but like, this episode we finally see him like back to how like they used to be, with him like comforting her and kind of being her rock and like helping her through everything, and I loved it so much.
On the flip side, everybody's favorite were-coyote, Malia, oh my goodness, just such a gem today, you know, with her... Well, I could track them by scent, and just, like, totally not understanding the way that school works in the slightest.
Oh, no, sweetie.
Second, very glad that the whispering voice in the background was not Peter. Yeah. Because that's totally where I thought that was going. And then it didn't.
And thank God.
So, thanks for that, Jeff. Which led to unknowing cousin bonding time.
I mean, Derek knows.
Derek taking yet another teenager under his wing, being like,
I will teach you. I will teach you.
Can we? Listen, I know that, like, everyone wants, like, Derek to join the police force, but also, like, there is nothing I want more in this life besides Teacher Derek, which we won't get because he's gonna die. But also, you know, there's the total thing of, like, you're not really sure when Malia and Derek are paired together if Malia is getting very good with her skills or if Derek is getting very bad. And the fact that I can't distinguish between this, I'm sure it's some combination of them both, but the fact that I can't distinguish between which one is really more true is making me very worried and very sad.
So much. It hurts.
It does. It hurts like Liam getting hit with that car.
Stop! Why would you bring it up?
Sorry.
I knew that Garrett was gonna go after Liam. Did not know he was gonna hit him with his truck.
I knew that he was like crawling along the side of the road and then the blade came down. I just was not expecting that truck. I was not expecting the truck.
No. Liam! He tried so hard to get out of that well, and then he fell down, and then he was like, Scott! Help, Scott!
Oh my God, there were so many Scotts.
I cried!
Oh my God, he howled to alert his position to the pack, and I died.
And he loves Scott so much. He loves him so much.
That's the other thing. In case you haven't noticed, like, the Mute, Violet, and Garrett are all dead.
They're dead. They each had maybe 2 episodes tops.
They've been made out to be such a large problem, and then you're just kind of like,
dead.
Well, they're not a problem anymore. And that gives me an extreme case of anxiety because, like, what are you doing for the rest of the season?
The mid-season trailer had a bunch of new faces who I can only assume are more assassins, considering most of them had guns or weapons of some sort.
So are the assassins essentially going to be, like, Teen Wolf's version of, like, the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, where it's just like, okay, your thing in general is the villains are the assassins, but, like, we're not gonna let you keep any villain for more than, like, 2 episodes before their fatality time runs out.
I said this on Tumblr. I don't know how many of you saw it. I retract my statement of thinking that the Calaveras are the Benefactor and replace that with the fact that I completely and totally think it's Peter.
Totes.
Like, it's
Totes
gotta be.
goats.
It's gotta be Peter. I mean, when I first, like, heard about the whole Benefactor thing, I was like, Peter. But I was like, oh, they wouldn't do that, because it's really obvious. Like, Peter's been there since the beginning. You know, like, he's the big bad who hadn't really been evil for a while, so you know it was coming. But I just figured that was too obvious, so I was like, who wouldn't they want us to think it is?
I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm always, like, my first response to anything where it's, like, an old villain, I'm just like, it's gotta be Gerard. I'm not even gonna lie about that.
It's my first, true.
It's my first response for everything. But I also had been considering Peter for a while until, 117, and I was like, oh, well, he's there, so I guess that's not him.
Yeah,
but the reason that it makes sense, for those who haven't put an especially large amount of thought into it, as far as I'm concerned, we all know, thanks to the end of 3A, that Peter still wants to be the Alpha, and the only way that Peter can really be the Alpha at this point is if he kills Scott. But we all know that Beacon Hill's supernatural creatures are pretty much all part of the Scott McCall fan club. So if Peter so much as lifted a claw against Scott, basically the entire town of Beacon Hills would come down upon him with the wrath of hell, and he would be dead again, probably.
Most likely.
One reason that might be good for Peter to be the Benefactor is that, yeah, it's this long list of people who are supernatural creatures that are going to get wiped out, but Peter's not on the list, and also, if he can get a bunch of people to do his dirty work for him,
that is how Peter works.
That is how Peter works.
That is how Peter works.
But if he can get someone else to eliminate all the other supernatural allies that Scott has in this town, then he will then be free to kill Scott by himself. And then there's also the thing with the mute where it's like, okay, well, Peter was the one to kill him, so did Peter just get to kill him first before he could say anything about who he was working for? Because they had roped him in, and then Peter came in and ripped his spine out of his back.
Yep.
So we're never going to get to hear his side of the story. Because if the tape from the Benefactor is what set Kate up to need the Triskelion,
exactly,
Peter waltzed in and was all like, that's a piece of shit, but that was how he got Kate down there, and totally could have set up for someone to steal the money so while he was in there. So basically Peter's a mastermind, and this could all be Peter anyway.
It's that's what it is.
And before you bring it up, yes, Malia is on the list, but Peter's also not Father of the Year, so.
Very true.
I'm sorry, Peter, I love you with, like, the passion of, like, 1,000 burning suns,
Same,
but also you're a great big bag of dicks, and
true.
You're probably trying to kill everyone that I love, so.
That's what you do.
Also, you know, if it comes down to it, there was one thing in the mid-season trailer that came out where I was like, praise it, which was Peter in his half-morph makeup, which we have never seen. We've never seen. We've seen Peter with his blue eyes and his fangs, and we've seen him as a hulking bipedal
CGI wolf.
Alpha werewolf. And I was just like, does he not have a middle form? Is that just like the kind of messed up person that Peter is? But we finally got to see in the trailer Peter in his half-morph makeup, and I couldn't be happier about it because that was really bugging me.
It was. She was really angry about it.
Also, the other thing about the trailer is, of course, Parrish.
Shirtless, covered in ash from a burning police car, and then ripping into that asshole deputy. Woo! Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I am about that.
So, which leads us to the several different Parrish predictions that we have made. One of which was Empath, which you can find the long paragraph that I typed out about that on the Tumblr page.
The blog. The next being the Phoenix.
God, I'm gonna make so many Fall Out Boy edits, it's gonna be great! And then that also comes in with the whole Parrish emerging from the burning police car, so what could Parrish be that involves fire? But also, I've actually been doing a lot of reading on Phoenixes as of late, but the most extensive one that I can find that has the most detail is based off Harry Potter. So besides the whole, like, tears that heal thing, and carrying immensely heavy loads, the Phoenix song is meant to inspire, bravery and like goodness in the hearts of those who hear it. So I think that sort of ties in with what we have been trying to say with the empath thing, because Parrish is really good about calming people down and like...
And he is hella brave. You have to be hella brave to be a bomb technician.
Yeah, so hella brave, he's hella calm, and I think that sort of ties in what we had been trying to say with that and brings it into a larger supernatural creature that seems to fit with the rest of what they've been hinting at. So I think that about wraps it up. Definitely see you next Moonday. And we will see whether or not our second try on the Banshee predictions brings us any good.
Ow!